This is Season 2 of the Books as Bad as Twilight podcast,
where we're reading Harry Potter and the Cursed Child by Jack Thorne.
Visit us at our website, www.babatpodcast.com.
Get lost with us in the magical world of Harry Potter.
Not
Season 2. It reminds me of the time I would often read in the shower.
Yeah. You would read in the shower? How did that work?
You use one hand to scrub your hair and everything like that.
Girl.
But I still do it.
Oh my god.
But I would prop my book up on a shelf we had in our bathroom. This is when I lived with my family. Mm-hmm. And I was reading a book my dad gave me. And it toppled into the shower. I was like, no! So I'm like sitting there with a hair dryer. I'm like constantly flipping the pages to make sure they don't stick together.
Man.
It wasn't. Actually, it happened to one of my Harry Potter books as well.
You know, it's funny you say that because something similar happened to mine as well.
In the bath?
I wasn't in the bath, but my brother was. This is when I was younger, and we could still, take baths together. We didn't, but young enough where we were still, like...
It's not
weird. Like... he was, I think, 7. I was 10, and I was laying on the floor reading because he wanted me to just be in the bathroom to keep him company. And he kept splashing, and I was like, Brian, stop splashing. I'm reading.
Yeah.
And he splashed. He did a huge splash, and it got all over my brand new first Harry Potter book.
I just want to know that you two are so cute.
Oh, thank you.
It's such like a cute bond to have with your little brother.
We used to be very close. Yeah. I miss that.
Brian
might start a podcast.
Is he?
I told him, I said, Brian, come to me. I will help you. And he said no. So you know what?
And he said no.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
So you know what? His loss. He said they're going to record it on phones. I was like, Brian, there are so many podcasts out there. Who wants to listen to your quality on a phone? Yeah. Nobody wants that. I have a microphone you can use. Not this one. He can use the Yeti upstairs. It was a good mic. It's a good microphone.
Yeah.
It's a USB mic. He'll be fine.
Yeah.
But whatever.
Whatever.
Anyway, so welcome everyone.
Yeah.
To Books as Bad as Twilight. My name is Danielle.
And I'm Brittany.
And today we were talking about The Cursed Child, Act 3.
Act 3, Scene 1 through Scene 10.
Correct.
So up to and including.
Up to and including, yes indeed. So, last episode we finished talking about the first part of the play. This play is 2 plays, really. It's not just one, it's 2. And so we just finished part 1.
Yes, the first play.
Play number 1.
Because when you buy, I was looking it up, when you buy tickets, you actually bought tickets for both plays at the same time.
Yeah.
And you bought tickets, and it's usually in the same day, which is interesting. I don't know, is that, like, innovative? Has that been done before?
That's a good question. That's something we'll have to look up. I don't know if I would call it innovative, but it's definitely never been done before.
Yeah.
Actually, I don't know. I don't think it has.
I think it's a really neat format to do. Like, because if you're planning a whole day in whatever city they have it in, you go see the first play in the morning, and then you go out for lunch, and you see the sights, and you go shopping, and then you end the day with the continuation of the story.
Yeah.
Which I think is pretty neat.
It actually kind of is when you say it like that. Personally, I'm like, oh, money.
But you're not buying 2 tickets.
Right.
You're buying 1 ticket for the set.
Did you happen to see how expensive it was?
It was around $100 some a person, I think it was.
So I guess that's not too bad, considering. I mean, it's definitely.
They sold so quickly, though.
I'm sure they did. Yeah.
Yeah, that's really not that bad, though.
Do you ever think that you would see this play?
Yes.
Okay.
I would see the play off-Broadway, like when it comes to, like, Philly or something like that.
Okay.
Because, A, I'm not going to pay that much for tickets.
Yeah.
I can't afford that. And B, like, I'm not going to go to New York for it.
Right, yeah.
I want to stay closer to home. Because, I would go see, usually with my husband, and my husband drives, and he doesn't want to. He hates city driving. So,
I don't blame him,
Yeah, we would stick to Philly.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I'm still... I don't know. If I went with you, I would see it.
Yeah.
I don't know if I would... If somebody came to me and said, hey, we're going to see Harry Potter and the Cursed Child. Do you want to come? Then I'd be like, well, it depends who it is. Yeah. And then, sure, I'll go with you. But I don't think I would be the one planning it. And I don't think I would go out of my way to go.
There's this one on the Potterotics, or one of my Facebook groups. The one girl was selling her tickets, 3 of them specifically, which is really kind of funny, to go see Harry Potter because I think she was pregnant and like she couldn't go anymore. And she was selling all 3 of them for around like $400, which is with taxes and services and everything like that. And I was thinking, oh my God, that'd be great. It would be me, Kevin, and Danielle, and we'll go and have a good time. But it was on a Wednesday night. I was like, no,
sucky.
Because I looked everything up and I checked my bank account. I was like, okay, yeah, we can afford this, but no.
Yeah, see, that's another thing. What you just said about like how expensive it is and affording it. I'd be like, I'd rather put that money toward like a PS4 Pro than seeing this play. But, yeah.
So let's get into the second play.
Yes, indeed.
So the second part of this book, which starts at Act 3.
Yes, indeed. Act 3. So do we have a summary for this one?
Scorpius Malfoy and his hidden potentials.
Yes, indeed.
So we left the first play with discovering that Scorpius popped out of the Black Lake, and Professor Umbridge is now the headmistress. She was never carted off and raped by centaurs, and she it's Voldemort Day, and Harry's dead, and Scorpius, not Scorpius, but Albus never lived.
Right.
So this is where we're starting.
Indeed, this is where we're starting. And what a starting point it is. We get a very different picture of Hogwarts in this section of the play. So it'll be interesting to talk about as we go through it. Because
I don't think they have houses anymore.
No, it's all Slytherin.
It's all Slytherin.
Yeah, that's right. So basically in this part of the play, we get a lot of seeing the type of person that Scorpius is, was, I guess, in this universe. Yeah. Like you said. Very different than who he is. Once again, I find it so... I don't think it's good, but I find it interesting how the play, like, with the whole time travel thing, how he's still him from another universe. Like, how he doesn't...
adapt the personality and the memories.
Yeah, it's interesting. It would create so many plot holes. I mean, I think it already is a plot hole, which is why I don't like it. But it's interesting. Yeah. I don't know.
And then, remember the first time we talked about the time theory? When it came to, I think, was it in Harry Potter or was it... I forget what we're talking about with timeline theories.
I think it was Harry Potter.
Yeah. So, like, that there's so many questions that people have when it comes to this type of stuff that they don't just you can't cover it all because no one could time travel, so there's nothing we could say about it because theoretically there shouldn't be a second Albus or a second Scorpius right now. I don't know. I don't know.
Well, let me put it this way. I think I know what I'm trying to get at when I say this. I'm getting better at saying what I mean. I think that, like, when it comes to observing literature and things that are planned out to convey a message and a story, I think time travel is often a crutch that is used. Like, that's why a lot of people don't like it. That's why I personally don't like it. It's a way to get to certain conclusions very easily. Like, oh, just make it time travel. I know tons of properties that use it, and that I just ruin it for me. And I think that's why it ruins this for me. But, like, that's why I don't like it. Like, I think it's a cheap gag. Not a gag, but a cheap use of... Yeah, trope is a good word.
Cheap trope.
Cheap trope. Sounds like a Mario character.
Oh, God, don't pick cheap trope. I want cheap trope.
Yeah. No, you Yoshi.
Always pick cheap trope.
You can have... I think Patreon, we need to design this character.
Cheap trope.
One day when we have a Patreon.
It's going to be a horse.
Okay. That's actually cool.
Because I was thinking like a trot.
Yeah. That's cool. I don't think there's ever been a horse character in Mario.
There you go.
Ooh,
Horse.
how is he going to work in a cart?
He's going to be really, really tall.
Yeah. Oh, we're getting excited. But,
anyway.
Yes. So that's just my...
Well, how cool would it be in like a normal book? Not in this play, because like the play has to be like condensed.
Right,
you have to really trim the fat for a play. But to have like Scorpius wake up in in the hospital wing, having all these massive migraines because he's being flooded with the current memories of Scorpius.
That would be amazing.
Like, so he'll have 2 timelines in his brain.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah,
but it wouldn't work for a play.
Exactly.
Yeah, and that's the sucky thing.
I mean, that would be really neat in a book.
It would be really neat. Oh, man. Look, I get that we wanted a play from Harry Potter. You know, it's fine, but that would have been so much better because that would have been real emotion. Like, this is just so on the surface.
Yeah. I can just imagine, like, laying in your hospital room, having all these migraines and all these images so alien to you, but also so familiar, and throwing up and, like, because you'll see he's conflicting with his self. So it's going to be a man versus man.
Right.
Man versus self-conflict.
Yeah.
And it'll be insane. And then, like, sometimes you see his other personality creep out and tries to stuff it back down. And, oh, God.
Damn.
Damn it.
You know what? I was going to say I'm going to write that fanfic, but there's too many things I want to write right now. So you know what?
Actually, I'm going to write that down.
Okay, good. Yes.
Can I borrow your pencil?
Oh, yes. You may certainly borrow the pencil. Yeah, so we have lots of ideas for fanfics, too many to keep up with, so, you know, it's all good. My note that first, I'll let you write that down.
No, go ahead. I'm listening. Okay,
I just wanted to say that I hate, and this is like another trope that I hate, when somebody clearly enters a space that they don't recognize certain elements within it, even though the self that the people think they're talking to should recognize these elements. For example... Somebody calls him athletic. I think it's Umbridge.
Yes.
And he's like, athletic? And she's like, no need to be modest. It's like, you think he's being modest when he says athletic? Clearly confused.
Yeah.
Like, it's just a critique I have of the way the play is structuring this. But it needs to be structured that way, obviously. Mm-hmm. But, you know, I don't like it.
So we're at Hogwarts in the headmistress's office. And it's just Dolores and Scorpius in this.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
So, and then it's neat because the stage direction talks about how their robes are blacker and everything is darker when it comes to Hogwarts now. So you don't have the life that was in the castle before because it's all like purebloods now, or even half-bloods. And... It's honestly just a conversation between Scorpius and Umbridge, about his sudden obsession with Harry Potter and Cedric, and you had such potential, Scorpius. Like, what's going on? I think that's really it.
Yeah,
what do you have to say about this?
I mean, the only thing I have to say is, already what I've mentioned, and you know, just the conversation is one that I hate in just plays or literature, what have you. But you gotta love the on-the-nose Nazi imagery in this, which, to be fair, and I think this is an interpretation thing, kind of like Lord of the Rings as well, but like, I think like Harry Potter and Voldemort has always been compared to Nazi Germany. I don't know what your thoughts are on that, because I think that's definitely an interpretation thing. I'm not sure.
Oh, no, I agree with it, because you have... They call themselves purebloods, for Christ's sake.
Exactly.
Yeah, so it definitely has the Nazi imagery.
Yeah, for sure.
So it always confused me about Dolores, and I'm not going to be on this topic for very long because it's a very long discussion.
Yeah.
But she's not inherently evil.
Correct, yeah.
You know, like her character did not start off as being Dolores.
Yeah.
You know, I'm just using her name.
Dolores.
It's funny to me. She did not start that way. And she ended up that way. And I feel that if it came down to Voldemort winning, I don't know if she'd still be there as a supporter of Voldemort.
I agree with you.
You know, I think she would eventually come to the realization, it's like, oh, shit, you know.
I always imagined that maybe she started off maybe like a Hermione. Yeah. And as she goes on, like, she's taking a route that Hermione could have taken, like, if Hermione had been bad. But...
And pure blood.
Yeah. Well, yeah, exactly. And the thing is that I agree with you. I think she's just there because people hate her. It's a familiar face.
I despise her.
Oh, yeah, same. I hated her.
I think
her, yeah.
If Voldemort had won, I think she would have been killed off. In all honesty, I think she would have been killed.
I agree with you, actually, because she's too close to the Ministry.
Yeah, and even though Voldemort infiltrated the Ministry...
Right.
She was so adamant in not believing Voldemort's existence when it came to the fact that he is there and he is fighting and he is real.
Yeah.
I think that she would be like, shit.
Right.
You know? And then try to get into his good graces and he'd kill her.
Right.
That's what I think would happen.
I like that interpretation.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
So, anyway, yeah, I think that's really it.
Okay.
For this scene. What about you think?
Yeah, that's about all I have to say.
Oh, and also we find out that Scorpius was huge on making Hogwarts a pure place.
Yes, yeah, he's a very different character. He's very much... This is actually implying that you are very much a product of your environment.
What's this word? I can't say it. The...
Augury?
Augury. Okay, go on. A product of your environment.
Yeah, like, I mean, I don't think this is wrong, because I would definitely agree that part of us are a product of our environment. The part of I think it's like a half and half kind of thing, though.
Nature, nurture.
Yeah, exactly. Like, it's no one is completely taking over a person. And I think that's another issue I have with this play, that something is taking over, that he is such a pure part. Like, this is purely a nurture aspect, or would it be nature?
It would be both.
He was nurtured
in a Voldemort world.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I just it seems to take away like the agency. Like, of course Scorpius wouldn't be the same person if it was Voldemort world. Because he was raised with this, but he was also raised in a certain way in the regular universe that we know, and he ended up being the shy, awkward person. Yeah. So I don't know. I just have a problem with it. But
it's weird.
Yeah, it's just not my cup of tea. But anyway, shall we move on? Or okay.
I brought up that word, the augury.
Oh, yes.
Because isn't that going to come up later? Yeah. So keep note, because that is foreshadowing. You might be sitting there wondering, what is the augury? We'll find out.
We will find out. Oh, boy. Yeah, I totally missed that when I first read it, actually. And I remember when I got further, I was like, wait, that must have come up. So there you go.
You're welcome.
All right. So, Act 3, Scene 2.
Oh, shit. I don't have my one sentence on it. For this whole section, I kind of just, like, read through it.
That's fine.
Ooh. All right. Scorpius Malfoy, Playboy.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
So, Act 3, Scene 2, we're at Hogwarts grounds.
Yes. My only note for this chapter is WTF. This is comically bad.
How so?
Of course, like I love how they're called him Scorpion King. They're like, hey, Scorpion King.
Isn't that like a mummy movie?
Well, it's definitely a movie. Maybe?
I think and The Rock plays the Scorpion King.
You're right.
So that's the mummy. Yep.
Is it? I never knew that.
I'm looking it up.
Okay, yeah, please do. Okay. Yeah, because I've never seen the Mummy movies. I know we actually used to own the Scorpion King on VHS. I never watched it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, never watched it. But yeah, they call him the Scorpion King because, of course, he would be called the Scorpion King. Like, this is just so not creative. It's such, like, anybody could write that down. Like, that's such an easy... That's my frustrated voice.
Well, I think it's funny that they call him a Scorpion King.
Yeah.
When Ron was Weasley.
That is interesting.
Yeah, Weasley
is our king. I wonder if that was intentional. I don't know if there's connection or not. I mean, maybe.
I don't know.
But yeah. And all like Polly.
I guess it's not a spin. It might be a spin-off of.
A spin-off? Okay.
But yeah, it's definitely The Rock.
Yeah, definitely The Rock. Yeah, I remember
it's an
that.
Egyptian, like, resurrection, all that type of junk.
An Egyptian scorpion king.
Mm-hmm.
How did we know?
It is rated very poorly.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Why am I not surprised? So this girl, Polly Chapman, which she is in the regular timeline as well.
Yes, but she doesn't pay any mind to them.
Right. And now she's all obsessed with him and trying to ask him to go to her with to the blood ball.
To the blood ball. In celebration of Voldemort Day.
The blood ball. I was going to say you can't make this up, but just kidding, you actually can. Like, the blood ball. Oh my God.
Yeah. It's not really creative again.
Yeah, it's just, you just have to laugh, folks.
Oh, and we find out, like, fucking people are being tortured. Mudbloods, of course, in the dungeons. Your idea, wasn't it? What's going on with you? Oh, Potter, I've got blood on my shoes again. So they're using Potter as a curse.
Yeah, that's...
Like, oh, Potter.
That's, okay. That's another thing I don't like. I don't know. I'm sorry, I just cut you off.
No, go ahead.
I was just going to say, what I was going to mention before is I was reading reviews of the play on Goodreads, and somebody brought this up, and I agree with it 100%. How people say, oh, my Dumbledore in the actual universe.
Yeah.
And then people say, oh, Potter. Like, you don't say, like, oh, Martin Luther King Jr. or, like what? Like, or oh, my...
They did say Obama.
I mean, I guess, but I guess that's more like of a joke, though. Like,
now it is.
Yeah, but like, it's
Thanks,
just
Obama.
Yeah. Well, that's not the same. But I do like that. I'll say that at every opportunity because it's so funny.
Oh my God!
Like, I love saying that.
It's raining. Thanks, Obama.
Yeah, thanks, Obama. That's my favorite phrase. I haven't said it in a really long time, so now it's back in my life, and I'm happy. So. It's like people, especially with the Dumbledore thing, they're equating him to like a deity, that he is like a god. And it's like, nobody says this. Like, nobody takes a person that they just don't like. Like, nobody says, oh, or what do they say?
Oh, Potter.
Oh, Potter. Oh, Hitler. Like what? Like, who would say that? Nobody.
Oh my God.
Like,
no, agreed.
It's just so, that's why I wrote this is just so laughably bad, this part. It's a shame because when you had texted me, I think, I don't know if we were talking or texting, and you had said, like, wow, like, this is really interesting. Yes. Do you remember? Yeah.
Yes.
And I think...
Oh, go ahead. I want to bring it up.
Okay, yeah. Because I was just going to say, because I think it could be interesting to see an alternative universe set in this way. Like, what if Voldemort won? And, like, it's just so disappointing.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I also want to, like, comment, the Algarary gets brought up
does
again.
It?
Mm-hmm. Like, the Algarary insists the future is ours to make. So here I am making a future with you for Voldemort and Valor.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah.
That's, again, a Nazi thing.
Yes, the Valor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, if you didn't know, kids, that's what it's equating to.
Mm-hmm.
So, I'll let you find that text before we continue.
Is it the one saying, I'm so conflicted how this play is progressing. Perhaps. I like Albus not existing in this timeline, but I have issues with how it relates to the first half of the play and the rest of the HP books. That's what I had texted you.
Oh, cool. Yes, very nice. Did you say you like the Albus being gone because you don't like Albus?
I don't like Albus. 100% I don't like
That's
Albus.
Awesome. I didn't think, I mean, at that point, I don't know what date that was, but I don't know if we'd actually recorded that many episodes at that point. Maybe, or maybe we had. I don't know.
I don't remember.
Me neither. Yeah.
Still don't like Albus.
But yeah. That's so funny. I don't think I knew as like you didn't like him as much. So anyway, anything else you have to say about this?
No. We just know that people killing mudbloods is, of course, just the day-to-day in this world.
Right. You know, just casual.
Okay. No, that's a different topic. That's going to be a tangent. Act 3, Scene 3.
What, you don't want to go on a tangent?
Nope. We're going to keep that in here.
Yes. All right. This is a longer one?
It's 4 pages.
Yeah, okay, so longer than usual, but still not long.
It's at the Ministry of Magic, Office of the Head Magical Law Enforcement, where Draco... okay, so one sentence summary, Draco Malfoy and his successes in the Voldemort world.
Nice, very nice.
I'm doing these off the whim because I don't remember writing these.
That's fantastic.
So Scorpius is speaking to his father, Draco, about things that are kind of like weird and off, and this is where I was conflicted with the HP books. So Scorpius goes to visit his father. We find out that he is now the head of magical law enforcement. Yeah. And Draco is ballistic. Like, he is yelling at Scorpius saying, how dare you embarrass me and keep me waiting because he's late, and then not apologize for it. He makes Scorpius call him sir, and that, like, he's humiliated by Scorpius at Hogwarts because he's being, like, sloppy and asking all these questions about Harry Potter, and it's all this stuff, and I don't like it.
Yeah, me neither.
It does, and it does a whole disjustice to Draco.
I agree.
Because, like, even in the first time, like, even the first timeline and even in the original Harry Potter books, Draco is not like this.
Right.
You know, like, and his family was on the verge of being in the disgraces of Voldemort. Right. So, theoretically, Draco probably wouldn't exist in this timeline because...
That's true.
Voldemort planned on killing Draco to begin with.
Right.
Or having Albus kill Draco, or someone kill Draco. Yeah. So...
You mean Snape killed Draco? Is that
was it Snape? No, like, Voldemort anticipated Draco failing to kill Albus.
Right. Oh, okay.
Albus, Dumbledore, I'm sorry.
Right. No, you're fine.
So, he anticipated him failing and possibly getting killed in the process.
Yeah, and if he did fail, then he would kill him.
So he was going to die no matter what.
Right.
And that was to punish Lucius and Narcissa. No,
you got it.
I can't say that. Yeah. But, so... theoretically, Draco wouldn't exist in this world.
Yeah, that's true.
And, like, because he did save Harry twice in the original books, when the Snatchers got them in the mansion, and he said, I don't think that's Harry, and in the final battle when he threw Harry a wand to defeat Voldemort. So he saved them twice. And
when is that? And I don't remember that part, actually.
It's... I don't remember.
I'm sure it did.
It did happen, we won't even... and because and I remember because Tumblr is like on their shit all the time when it comes to this stuff, and I didn't remember it either. But it is a deleted scene.
Oh, so it's in the movie.
It was in the movie. It was deleted.
A deleted scene. Okay.
It's also like it was on one of those posts. It said scenes that I wish were in the movie.
Gotcha. Okay.
So it did happen.
Gotcha. Okay. Gotcha.
So it's just that, like, I don't think Draco... I think Draco will be part of the resistance. The underground resistance.
Yeah. I agree.
Yeah.
I feel so conflicted because Draco is one of those characters that in the beginning of the books, it's hard to put a lot of depth into him because of how black and white he is at first. And then as the books go on, as with most of the books, like, he gains more depth. And I think that it is a disservice to his character. Again, it's very uncreative to just say, oh, and of course Draco would be a bad guy.
Yeah.
There's no nuance to his character at all. Like you said, he does some good things. He is conflicted.
Look how torn up he was when he was creating the Vanishing Cabinet.
Yes, exactly. That's one of my favorite whole plot lines with Draco.
Yeah. Poor boy.
Yeah, and it's a shame. I agree with you 100%. It's a shame that he has to be characterized in this way, in a way that, and again, it brings up the kind of the nature and nurture thing. Like, he just does it because that's how the world ended up being. Yeah. Like, he wouldn't have his own motivations as a person. I guess not, because that's how this play works.
Yeah.
But notice he did marry the same woman.
He did.
So that's another thing that's kind of weird to me. She's
a pureblood, And, you know, like,
yeah,
pure bloods marry pure bloods.
I'm surprised she's on the same line, like, as the same line of thinking, I guess. But maybe...
she still dies.
Right, and she still dies. And there's a part, let me see if I can, on 173, where he talks about... This was the only part I liked about this scene, where he talks about how he married a woman his father didn't like. Actually, is she pureblood? Because he says, Scorpius, she said that grandfather didn't like her very much, meaning his mom said that. Opposed the match, thought she was too muggle-loving, too weak, but that you defied him for her. She said it was the bravest thing she'd ever seen. So there are bits of Draco.
Yes, there are bits
here.
And as you'll see, like, further down, Draco says, you know what I loved most about your mother? She could always help me find the light in the darkness.
Yeah.
She made the world my world. Anyway, less... What's the word you used? Murky? So, like, there are bits, but I guess after she died, he turned completely dark?
I don't know.
It must be.
Yeah, I guess we can assume that. But yeah.
And he's not very, okay, I guess I'll take back what I said. Okay. Because Scorpius asked Draco if it was him who killed a bunch of people when blowing up bridges and the mudblood death camps.
Oh, right.
The torture and
Nazis.
Like, the burning alive. Oh my god, like that's a lot.
Yeah.
That is a lot. And bribing the Muggle Prime Minister, like the auguraries, like this is the third time it's being mentioned. So they want you to keep it in your mind, the
Correct.
augurary.
Yes.
Like Draco says, it wasn't me. Those idiots blasting Muggles. That was not my doing. Though it will be me. The augurary asks to bribe the Prime Minister with gold.
Yeah.
So
it's you know, actually, now that I'm thinking about it, what you just said, it's interesting how I don't want to give this play the satisfaction, but at the same time, there is a sort of complexity to this part. Mm-hmm. Where in the beginning, you see a very different Draco in the first half of this scene to the second half. Because in the first half, he's very stern and very almost evil, to put it lightly. But then all of a sudden, there's this tonal shift where suddenly you see this other side to him that maybe he doesn't like all of this.
When his mother gets brought up.
Right.
Or his wife.
Well, yeah, his wife, yeah. And so for that, I'll give it credit. Mm-hmm. But I still think it is a very cheap characterization. However, I do appreciate the complexity.
Yeah. So like I said, I redact my...
Yeah, I'm kind of
statement.
Redacting too.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
Because I forgot about his little redemption here. Especially when he says there's more of her in there than I thought, talking about Scorpius.
Yeah, that's right.
Because Scorpius is changing. Do you think that Draco turned that way in the first half of this scene because his son was so praised at Hogwarts that he had to now put up this front? Like a Snape situation.
Right, so maybe he's... Okay. I think there's definitely a way to read it that way.
Yeah.
However, I don't think this play gives us a conclusion to...
That's true.
Yeah,
that's very true.
But that's literature. You know, you read it, you make your own assumptions. But I don't think that if we're being literary scholars, let me drink my tea, then I don't know if there's anything there to do that. But I think as a reader, you can also do that. So I don't know. It's, yeah. No. But anyway, anything else?
No. But we're seeing we're seeing a good amount of time passing.
Yes.
Because we're learning about everything that's going on in this world.
Yes.
And you're seeing Scorpius pick up on, like, for Voldemort and Valor, and he repeats it for Voldemort and Valor. Mm-hmm. So he's learning the, I guess, sociology?
The societal norms, would you call it?
Societal norms. Yeah. So that he could not be such an outlier. Right. It's so funny. He's an outlier in the real world, and now he's an outlier in this timeline.
Oh, he's a great character.
He's a very good character.
The best part about this play, easily. Yeah. You just actually brought something up really interesting. I'll try to keep this short, but like, one thing that I had a hard time with this section was actually the timeline, because in the regular universe that we're used to, the timeline was very spread out. Like, not in the beginning, obviously, when we're getting Albus year 1, year 2, year 3, year 4.
Yes.
But like then you get it where it's like the scenes take place hours between each other.
Mm-hmm.
So you get a thing that of Albus at Hogwarts, and then you get later that night his parents' discussion and this and that. But then in this, it's a much longer span of time.
Yeah.
Like it's like it might be days.
I think it's months, to be
Is it
honest.
months? Yeah.
I feel like it's months.
Which you don't get from this. Maybe you get it when you actually see the play.
Well, I feel that it's months because he can't just go to visit his father. You
Right,
have to
exactly.
Wait for a break.
Yes.
So you have Voldemort Day, which happened near the end of the year, the Hogwarts year.
Yes.
So it was in May.
Was it the end of...
Well,
I don't know.
Yeah, if it follows the normal school year.
Yeah.
If it's and the Battle of Hogwarts is in May.
Okay. Well, then that's weird because because the other timeline takes place in the beginning of the Hogwarts year, right? Because they're going on the train back to Hogwarts in September.
Correct.
So that's weird. But you're right.
Yes.
Because Voldemort, the Battle of Hogwarts.
Okay, and also they can't. They could jump time, but they can't jump space. So they have to be in the place in which. So do they have to wait until the day?
No, I'm sorry. No, I guess they don't
fine.
have to wait till the day. I don't know why I said that, but okay.
No, it is the beginning of the year when they start jumping in time.
Correct, but yeah, but
That's
they can jump
correct.
to wherever they want in time, so they
Yes.
could. Okay, so I'm confusing myself with that, but still.
So okay, yeah. So when he came back out of this third task, was it the second or third task? No,
This is the second task. Wait,
second task.
they don't get to the... Yeah, it's the second
It's
task.
the second
yes.
task.
Mm-hmm.
So they fucked up the second task, and he gets whipped back into what's supposed to be the current time, which is still at the beginning of the year.
Right.
So he's been living, but that doesn't make any sense.
That's why I'm
because
confused.
now
yeah.
it's the Blood Ball
Right.
and Voldemort Day.
See, that's what I mean.
So-
yeah.
Yeah, okay, that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, that's where I'm confused.
Okay.
Okay. So yeah, you can to be more clear, what we're saying is that you can jump anywhere in time, but the way it works out is he went back in time to the second task. Mm-hmm. Technically speaking, the time turner had in the past in this book, he had returned to the same place he was in time before going back in
Correct.
time. So if that was the case, he should be returning in September to Hogwarts, whatever was going on. However, with the evidence of it being Voldemort Day to celebrate the Battle of Hogwarts, right? Mm-hmm. Then it should be in May, unless the Battle of Hogwarts is different, but in this universe.
It
but
shouldn't be, though.
it shouldn't be. It doesn't say it is.
No, because everything should be right up until... Well, no. Everything
mean-
should be correct up until... This is why time is stupid.
Yeah.
Everything should be correct up until the second task.
Right.
Then everything fucks up. So the Battle of Hogwarts could have been sooner.
It could have.
It could have been a
but
lot
that's
sooner.
such... Yeah.
It could have been like a couple months after
Yeah.
he was resurrected.
Yeah.
So in reality...
Yeah. No, you're right. I just...
Not in reality. This is all fiction.
Well,
But
yeah.
you know what I mean.
No, I know you. I think... Yeah. So
But
that is...
none of it's explained though. So
Yeah,
if
it's
we're
just-
just strictly reading it as we're reading it without any conjuncture, is that the word?
I don't know.
Without any like us putting in our own thoughts.
Yeah.
The timeline doesn't make sense.
Correct. Yeah. It's just very... And like you just said, like there is a way to kind of explain it, literally what you just said. Mm-hmm. It's still like, why do we have to take the time?
To sit there.
Yeah. Let's move on to...
Act 3, Scene 4, Hogwarts Library.
All right.
So this is Scorpius Malfoy channeling Hermione Granger.
Very good.
We find Scorpius in the library, desperately looking through books for history and basically to find out why Cedric became a Death Eater.
Yeah.
'Cause that's what started all of this.
Yes. Apparently Cedric became a Death Eater because I don't know if it's explained yet here. I know it's eventually explained, but like because it has to do with him being embarrassed with the
Correct.
tournament. But I don't know if it's not explained yet, but it will be explained, I know. Because I did write it down at some point, I know. but I don't see it in my notes right now.
Yeah.
I don't think it's explained here.
No, it isn't.
Okay, so we know he became a Death Eater, which, how do you feel about that? Like, it's kind of the nature and nurture thing again. I
don't think it will happen because, like, he's a Hufflepuff.
Right. Like,
Hufflepuffs won't do that.
Yeah.
Hufflepuffs were besides Gryffindors, Hufflepuffs were there at the Battle of Hogwarts. Like, there were a couple of Ravenclaws, no Slytherins. Except, like, Draco, but he was there because of the Death Eaters.
Yeah.
But Hufflepuffs rallied. You know, they're all about loyalty. And just because, like, someone got embarrassed doesn't change...
Yeah,
doesn't change your personality. Like, yeah, you might become more recluse, but everyone's backing of Cedric during the Goblet of Fire, and everyone's pushback against Harry. It doesn't make sense that he would go from night to day.
I agree.
You know, or day to night, rather.
Yeah.
Because everyone would go to Cedric and be like, you can do it, like... We believe in you more.
Right.
You two lost one task doesn't mean you're out of the game.
Right.
You know, they would rally behind him.
Yeah. And what you just said is interesting, how you just said from day to night.
Mm-hmm.
Very rarely do people switch like that so quickly because of one thing. I mean, a lot of times people, their motivation comes from like a certain event in their life, and their whole lives can be influenced by that subconsciously or consciously, what have you. But like, again, it's just bad. It's just not creative. It's just like, of course he would become a Death Eater because he lost a task.
Yeah.
Like, really?
Especially because there's another task and he did well the first time.
Yeah.
You know, it to me, it doesn't make much sense.
Yeah. And even like, well, I won't bring this up yet because we haven't gotten there. So never mind.
Yeah.
But yeah. And of course we have this scene is where when Scorpius is in the library, this guy named Craig Bowker Jr. Comes up to him saying that he's going to do his homework for him.
Well, yeah. He's like, what are you doing in the library?
Yeah.
I've got your homework right here. Like, I'm not finished with it yet. Like, do you have another assignment you want me to do? And Scorpius is like, what?
Yeah, this is, again, the same type of conversation he had with Umbridge, where he's like, athletic. And she's like, oh, don't be modest. This is like the same type of conversation where he's like, I hate homework. And Craig's like, you're the Scorpion King. Of course you hate homework. Like, really? This trope? Don't do it.
Yeah.
Don't do it. Yeah.
And he's talking about the potions homework. Where did he say Snape?
Oh.
There it is.
Yes.
What am I? Why can't I be here? It's not ready yet. I'm working as fast as I can. But Professor Snape said so much of it, and writing essays in 2 different ways. I mean, I'm not complaining. Sorry. And then we find out that Snape is still alive.
And I think it's so dumb, but at the same time, I love it when Scorpius kind of walks away, and the stage direction says pause. Scorpius looks at Craig a moment and then walks away. Craig exits. After a moment, Scorpius returns with a frown. So I imagine him like being behind, like in the library, going behind a shelf and then coming back like leading his head out, being like, "Did he say Snape?"
Yeah.
Like, I think that's so funny.
It's funny that you wrote it that way. I imagined him going out into the hall, re-entering the library, and be like, "Did he say Snape?"
That's funny.
Like, kind of like an aside.
Yeah, that's really funny. And both readings of it are still really comical.
Yeah. Like, why didn't he just return to his book and then look up?
Right.
You know, why did he have to leave?
Yeah.
Anyway.
That's funny.
So, yeah, we find out that Snape's still alive.
Yes, which I'm sure when people saw this play, was like, oh, what?
Because everyone has a boner for Snape. I'm sorry. I still can't get behind him.
Look, you know, I think the thing about Snape, I'm going to keep this very short. I don't know if I'm the only one who read it this way, but when the 7th book was coming out, I remember that there was a marketing campaign, I believe with Borders, right? R.I.P. Borders.
Probably why it failed.
Yeah. Yeah. Where they were giving out bookmarks, free bookmarks, that one side said is Snape is good, and the other side said Snape is bad, creating this thing where it's like, we're going to find out if Snape is good or bad. And for me personally, I knew that he was going to be good. Like, you just knew.
Quote, unquote, good.
Well, yeah, that's true. Very true.
Yeah.
And I think the narrative wants us to think he's good, and I don't think he's bad per se, but, like, there's problematic elements.
I think he's awful.
Well, yeah, but the book doesn't seem to... The Harry Potter novels don't seem to get that. They don't
end on it him being awful.
He did do a very brave thing. I think Snape is a very complex character. I don't think the books... They present him very complexly, but the conclusion that the books want us to take away is that, well, all of it was done and good. It's like, but you can't erase the fact that he's a complete ass to Harry. And it's childish, and he's holding on to things that he shouldn't, like, grow the F up.
Yeah,
like...
No, he's just... I'm not going to go into it.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
I even brought it up. But anyway, so... But we can do that another time. We can talk about Snape.
Just like, we'll talk about Hermione being in Slytherin.
Oh, girl.
I'm still behind on that.
No.
Anyways, Act 3, Scene 5, Hogwarts, the Potions Classroom. And I find it funny that after Snape, who is Voldemort's right-hand man, ends up being the potions master still.
Yeah.
Like, not the head.
Well, once again, this book doesn't...
Not the minister, not anything.
Yeah. Because this book still... It's just uncreative. Yeah. It doesn't know what to do.
Because he hates potions.
Right.
Oh, he's very good at it. But he wants to be the dark arts teacher.
Yeah, why actually wouldn't he be?
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like, wouldn't he be rewarded for his dedication to Voldemort?
This is why I hate time travel once again. Yeah. I hate how limited, how much you can do with it, and how people don't take advantage of it.
I don't think it's the time travel. I think it's the lack of foresight by the author.
Well, that too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because, like, if you have this event happening and you know it's going to lead to Voldemort's victory, then you have to think about his leaders.
Right.
The lack of depth.
Yes.
That the writer is giving to these characters.
Yeah, I guess... So I agree with you.
Yeah.
I guess what I'm saying is, like, I think time travel creates all these plot holes that could arrive, or it requires complexity by the author.
Yes.
And what you just said is what I feel like, that he didn't
think it through.
Yeah, and there's so much to think through with that kind of thing, and that's why
we don't like this.
No.
All right, Act 3, Scene 5, in the Potions Classroom.
You poor thing.
Here we go. Severus Snape and his true colors.
Oh, I see your true colors shining through. I see Snape's true colors, and that's why we hate him. So don't be a Death Eater. Just let them show. Wait, never mind.
Anyway.
So this is an interesting scene for sure. Do you want to, before we say anything, do you want to, like...
set it up?
Yeah.
So, Scorpius runs into the Potions Classroom very dramatically, slamming open the door, and we see Severus Snape, who looks up to him, I assume from a desk or a cauldron, and Snape, being his sassy, sarcastic self, is like, did no one teach you to knock, boy? And Scorpius is, like, fawning over him. It's like, it's an honor to meet you. But if he's been there for a while to learn the social norms, he would have had Professor Snape as his teacher. So
these are things. Okay, I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
So that's the thing. There's a lot of things that as readers we tend not to think about. Okay, I won't go on a tangent. I'm just going to make a statement. We can move on. This is why I love when I read the Harry Potter books. This is what led me to love them, because they went that extra step where they thought about things that even I didn't think of. And I thought, wow, that's incredible that books are thinking of that and making sure to be attentive to those little things. So anyway.
There we go.
Yeah.
So it's just that little thing. It's like, you would have known that. Come on. Especially, anyway. So, Scorpius is speaking to him as if he still died. Like, it's an honor, like Severus Snape. He forgets to call him Professor and all that type of stuff. And Snape is just his sarcastic self. But he does, you notice he's calling him boy. You know, he's not, like, saying, like, Mr. Malfoy like you would as a student, which I find interesting. And Scorpius is asking for Snape's help.
Yes.
So, do you want to say anything about this? Because it is a long scene.
Yeah, it's definitely longer.
Has a lot of information in it.
Yes. So the only note that I have, and this is toward the end of the scene, let me see if I can actually find the line. Okay, so it's the very last line that Snape says. So this is when Scorpius is asking for Snape's help, like trying to make him understand
that he is from a different timeline.
Correct. And so this just kind of made me laugh because it's a fourth wall break to me. It doesn't have to be, but I just read it that way, where Snape's like, we've had to move many times. Everywhere we've settled, they destroyed. This will take us to a room hidden in the roots of the Whomping Willow. Scorpius. Okay, who's we? Snape. Oh, you'll see. As if he's like turning to the audience.
You'll see.
Yeah.
Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah.
I read that and I'm like, are you freaking kidding me? And then I slammed the book down. Anyway.
Funny.
Sorry.
I think it's the scene is funny how quickly he trusts Scorpius.
I agree, yeah.
Because he is going through all the detail of the 7 books in this little scene. He talks about Snape's love for Lily, how Cedric and Harry were both supposed to win and Cedric die, and talking about Snape being a spy for Voldemort and all this type of stuff. And that's why he named his son, my best friend, after you both, Albus Severus Potter. And then like Snape is like overcome by this. But he knew Harry, but he didn't like Harry.
Right.
So he was overcome with emotion by the fact that Harry would name his son after him. I think it's a little silly.
And we talked about this a little bit with Snape a few minutes ago, where we were talking about how, like, people are expected by the end of Deathly Hallows to think that Snape is good.
Mm-hmm.
And I think what you just said hits it on the nail, where it's like, this play is taking a very... It's not taking a Snape that we know from the books. It's taking a Snape that we want to read.
Mm-hmm.
We want Snape to be... Like, this whole thing with Snape, everybody thinks it's so emotional. Personally, I don't buy it that much.
No.
Because it's the Snape we want. Yeah. But it's not the Snape...
That is.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so I agree with you. It's very...
Because if it was the true Snape, he would think, Potter, such a martyr, such a, like... fool, like, to think he could, like, right wrongs by naming his son after me.
Right.
You know, like, that's the type of response the real Snape, in my opinion, would have.
I agree. And I think back to the 5th book when Harry says...
Always the hero. That's the way...
Always the hero, nice.
Always the hero. Go on.
When Harry is with Umbridge and he's going to bring Veritaserum to Umbridge, she asks for it and he says they don't have any. And then he says... it's Padfoot. It's Padfoot at the place where it's hidden. Mm-hmm. And Snape looks at him and Umbridge is like, what is he talking about? And he's like, no idea. Like, that's Snape. Yeah. He doesn't like Harry. He doesn't want to give him the satisfaction. But at the same time, there's a lot of depth in that line because you know that he works for the Order of the Phoenix. Mm-hmm. And he will do anything in his power to help them. This Snape is kind of like right away, like just... The layers are coming off. Mm-hmm. The clothes are off.
But then again, it is because it is a play and it has to be hurried.
Right.
But no buts.
Well, but can I just say real quick and I'll stop. If this play was better plotted out, like there are scenes that we talked about that I think are just so unnecessary, then it wouldn't have to be hurried. There could be an additional scene with him and Snape. We could actually see him in potions class.
If they narrowed it down.
Yeah.
If they've narrowed the time line down and narrowed the characters.
Yes.
Like trimmed all that out.
Yeah.
Then this will be a more concise play.
Yeah. All right.
So Act 3, Scene 6, in the campaign room?
Campaign room.
Yeah, let's figure out what that is.
Oh boy.
So I love this imagery because, all right, so they go under the Weeping Willow. And
it's the Whomping Willow, Brittany.
The Weeping, I'm so sorry.
Come on,
the Whomping
Brittany.
Willow. I'll be whomping my willow thinking of you tonight.
Oh, man. Oh, Brittany.
That's my favorite Harry Potter pickup line. So Scorpius is pinned to the table by a magnificent-looking Hermione. Her clothes are faded, eyes blazing, and she's in full warrior now. She is full warrior now, and it rather suits her. I love this imagery of Hermione. This is how I that's how I picture her in the fanfic I'm writing her.
Oh.
It's funny that they do this
yeah.
without us me knowing it. But like completely like gung-ho. She's a soldier now.
Yeah.
She is ready. So we find out that Hermione and Ron are in this, quote, campaign room, which is the Shrieking Shack.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, which is weird that they can't find them in the Shrieking Shack.
I know.
But,
well, don't they have Dementors there? Like, couldn't the Dementors find them? All right, yeah.
So this is how we're introduced to the fact that there is a resistance, a small one.
Yes,
very tiny,
very.
Smaller than the Order of the Phoenix.
Mm-hmm.
But there is still one.
Yes, indeed.
And Snape is in on it.
He is. It's interesting. Well, first of all, can I just say, even in this universe, Ron is hopeless.
I know.
We get a scene on page 182 where, let's see, it says, so Ron says, Snape, a royal visit, and he sees Scorpius and is immediately alarmed. What's he doing here? He fumbles out his wand. I'm armed and entirely dangerous, and seriously advise you. He realizes his wand is the wrong way around and turns it right. Like,
where is that?
It's on 182 on the bottom. Or toward...
Oh, I see it. Okay, yeah.
It's just, poor Ron.
Yeah, he would, like, it's been years since Voldemort has won. No, it hasn't. It's been months.
Yeah, okay. Oh.
So he's still a teenager.
Well, it hasn't been months. You mean since Voldemort won?
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Right, yeah.
So they are in their 40s again, then. I'm sorry.
No, it's fine.
Yeah, so
it's
they
confusing.
are in their 40s again.
Yeah.
He's had years to practice.
Right. And why is Hermione... Okay, obviously Hermione, girl power. I love Hermione. Mm-hmm. But, like, why doesn't Ron also get... Like, wouldn't Ron adapt to his...
He'd be like Kingsley at this point.
Yeah.
Kingsley's fucking badass. He's my favorite.
He's amazing.
I think Ron will go into Kingsley mode. You know, or at least Arthur.
Yeah, Ron.
Like his own father.
Ron is getting
He's getting the shit kicked out of him.
Yeah. I don't know. This is also the section where we get thank Dumbledore for that. Mm-hmm. And then once again, I like slammed my book. I'm like, nope, I can't do it anymore.
Well, they say Merlin in the original, don't they? In the original?
They do, but they don't say like thank Merlin. They say like Merlin's beard. It's like an expression.
Yeah.
And I also think Merlin, the books, not that I'm forgiving the books, but I think like it's very unclear who Merlin was in the wizarding world. Like, was he an actual wizard or is he a myth?
Yeah, I think he was more of a myth.
Yeah, so that would make sense because maybe he's a myth. He's godly. That's what they say. Merlin's beard, or it's just something creative. But once again,
I'm not going to get into it because there's Nicholas Flamel. Nicholas Flamel is a theoretical character and all that type of stuff.
Oh,
too.
God.
And he's real in this, so I don't know.
Oh, you're right. Oh.
So Act 3, Scene 7, back in the campaign room. So they're Scorpius has told Ron and Hermione about everything that happened in the original timeline, which is supposed to happen, including the Battle of Hogwarts where Neville kills Nagini.
Yes.
And Ron, such an idiot. His first line in this is, so you're telling me that the whole of history rests on Neville Longbottom? That's pretty wild. I'm like, it's okay. Like, he's part of the prophecy as well. He's the fulfillment of the prophecy.
Which I guess they don't know about?
No, they would know about it. Would they?
The reason I say that...
No, they wouldn't.
Yeah, because I don't know how this timeline works. We know that Harry dies at the Battle of Hogwarts, but what happens in between that time?
Yeah, do they go...
Right.
Did they... Well, then theoretically, the Time Turners weren't smashed. They had to have gone to the Ministry of Magic. Because the Time Turners have to smash.
Right.
You know, they have to smash, because otherwise they would probably come up with this plan.
Does it say... Okay, now I'm wondering... It says Hermione is sitting studying the Time Turner as Ron tries to digest it all. Mm-hmm. So I'm assuming that they were smashed.
Yeah, because, they have to, so they know what the prophecy says.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
So, but maybe they don't know about Neville. Because remember Harry.
Yeah. They all, none of them thought it would be Neville.
Yeah.
To help. It was always a surprise.
Yeah, but still, I agree, that line.
Yeah. All right.
And once again, this play writes with the knowledge that fans love Snape. Mm-hmm. In this part. Yeah, I don't know. Oh, so this was interesting to me. This is a little farther in on page 187. So they're walking. They're going to time travel in this part, correct? I'm trying to refresh my memory and read this at the same time.
Wait, what? I'm sorry, what was your question?
Like, they're actually going to do some time traveling to try to fix.
What they did is, in this section, is they're coming up with that plan. So Hermione's like, okay, so what we're going to do is the first task, we're going to go back then, prevent the first spell, because they never stopped the first spell from happening.
Right.
So that's why Cedric changed. He lost both tasks.
Correct, yeah.
So the first one, he lost poorly. So he was embarrassed twice.
Wow.
Yeah. Okay. That makes a little bit more sense. Not perfect sense, but it makes a little bit more sense.
I don't think it's enough to become a Death Eater.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
So Hermione is saying, we'll go back to the first task, stop you guys from meddling, then I'll go back to the lake and reverse that one as well. And so they're just making their plan right now. They didn't do any actually.
Well, at the end they start to.
Yeah.
And that's where they're like, I don't remember. I'm trying to read it really quick to see where they walk to.
They have to walk to the
to the
Quidditch
place,
grounds.
right? But I don't think they do.
No, they don't, do they?
Because I'm trying to see where
it only takes like they only have 5 minutes.
Right, and they can't be seen, and the Quidditch grounds is all in the open.
Yeah.
I think they're in the forest, but I'm not sure.
It doesn't say.
Or no. Do they even walk anywhere now that
No,
I think
it
about
says they're in the campaign room.
Yeah.
And they're just having this whole discussion.
Right. So that was my notice that so it's just weird like that they have to be where they're going to end up.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, because they can't manipulate space.
Correct. That's my only note in this chapter.
Well,
what about you, Brittany?
I think it's supposed to be like comedic on some of this chapter, like how Ron says Granger's a wanted woman, I am a wanted man, and Snape goes less wanted dryly. So this is supposed to be like a recap and a little bit of comedic aspects.
I could definitely see that in the theater.
Yeah. And Snape asks how he dies. Snape goes, I die presumably. Were you a little too surprised? You were a little too surprised to see me. How? Scorpius, bravely. Snape, who? Scorpius, Voldemort. Snape, how very irritating. Snape
is like a sassy gay man, except obviously he's not gay, but that's how he comes off.
I also feel that like there's some sexual tension between Snape and Hermione in this.
Yeah.
So Snape is saying at the end, you're risking everything to do this. And Hermione goes, if we get this right, Harry's alive, Voldemort's dead, and the Arguary is gone. For that, no risk is too great, though I am very sorry it will cost you. Snape, sometimes the costs are made to be borne. The two look at each other, they nod back and forth. Did I just quote Dumbledore? I didn't just quote Dumbledore, did I? Hermione with a smile. No, but I'm pretty sure that's pure Severus Snape. Like, so it's not like sexual tension, but like I felt it was a little like flirty.
Yeah, for sure.
Because she and Ron are not together.
No.
They decide like they're not together, so she's a free woman to go with Snape if she wants.
Aw, man, Oh, I don't like that fanfic at all.
There's a lot of fanfic about Snape and Hermione.
Trust me, I knew.
I like it.
I know you do. If you didn't catch on, I don't. It's uncomfortable.
All right, so that's the only thing I have to say about that chapter.
Same.
Or not scene.
Yeah.
Ugh.
We're so used to saying it. So, shall we move on to Act 3, Scene 8?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Okay, Edge of the Forbidden Forest, 1994.
I don't have any somewhere.
Because
this is so short.
I know, it's so short.
So what's really neat about this is that they are literally replaying the same scene from part 1.
Yeah.
So I think that's pretty cool. But now we're going to see like also 2 Albuses. Oh, 1 Albus and 2 Scorpius.
Yes.
So
okay.
A young Hermione and old Hermione, and like so we should see all of that because the young Hermione is in front of them in their robes and be like, "What are you doing here?" and
right,
all that type of stuff. So, they successfully stopped the first, what's
the first, the first task, like where they stopped the, I can't even think of a word. They
stopped the boys from fucking up.
Yeah.
The first task.
My question here is, when they mess up that task earlier in the play, and then we find Albus in the hospital wing, and then little things are changed, like he's no longer in Slytherin, he's in Gryffindor, and Ron and Hermione aren't married. There's a reason that they're not married. It's not because they messed up with Cedric. It's because they were just there in time, and they talked to Hermione, who saw them in Durmstrang robes and saw them.
That whole line doesn't exist anymore.
Right.
Now that they stopped that from happening.
Right.
So that's gone.
Yes. Okay. So she wouldn't think that they were messing.
Correct.
Right. Okay. Okay.
So when they pop back into into their current timeline to mess with the second task, then the situation should be different.
Right.
So.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So, they successfully stopped the boys with all the fuckery.
Yeah.
And that's it. And these go really quickly because they want to move forward. Right.
I will say, and this is again just a nitpick, but I love how like the way time works is they can only stay back in time for 5 minutes. And it's so funny, like, what this play thinks 5 minutes is. Sometimes it's a few seconds, like right now.
Yeah.
Like, it's just, you gotta laugh. That's all I can say. Because these things are definitely not, like, equating to 5 minutes.
Yeah.
But, it's fine. It's a play. I won't nitpick. Anyway, do you have anything more to say?
Nope.
All right.
Act 3, Scene 9.
Woohoo.
This is a long one, too.
Oh, hey, Brittany.
This is a really long one. Go on.
Brittany, you want to know what else is long?
My dick. What?
It's funny you said that, because in my head I was thinking, oh no.
Why did I ask for you?
No, Brittany, what's long? You know what? Let's take this a different way. I want to talk about our sponsor, Audible.
Oh.
Yes, indeed. Long audiobooks. That's what I was going for. It wasn't a good direction.
Yeah.
So, yes, we are today sponsored by audible.com. Today, if you go to this URL, www/ sorry.
Oh my God. Start over.
Hello, folks.
All right. I'm Brittany.
Yeah. I'm Danielle.
And we are sponsored by
Audible.
I was going to say Spotify.
You were. I could tell.
Audible.
Audible.com. Yeah. So if you go to www.audibletrial.com/BaBaT, you can get a 30-day free trial to Audible and a free audiobook of your choice.
Woo-hoo.
There's over 180,000 titles to choose from. And of course, we're going to recommend Harry Potter to you. Because why not? Harry Potter's great. It's better than this play. Just saying.
Of course.
And so, be sure to go to that URL. Once again, that's audibletrial.com/BaBaT. You can get a free audiobook of your choice and a 30-day free trial to Audible. It's really great. They have so many titles to choose from. I'm a subscriber to Audible. Are you as well?
Yes.
You are? Okay, cool. and so is Tatiana.
Oh.
And so, we love Audible.
We do.
We're Audible people here,
You could also get podcasts, not ours, but there are podcasts on Audible, and there is the Great Courses.
And,
yes. There's just a lot. I think you could listen to newspapers and stuff on Audible, too. Isn't there, articles?
So. Yeah,
and all that type of junk?
Yeah, Audible has a lot to choose from.
So much stuff.
Yeah, so definitely, again, visit audibletrial.com/BaBaT for your free 30-day trial and a free audiobook of your choice.
Woohoo!
All right. Let's move on.
I know. I should have read that as we're
You know what,
talking
Brittany?
about the sponsor. Whoopsies.
It's fine, because you know what?
What?
You always try to transition, and I never understand. And so, you know what? Now it's my turn to say the weird... the weird
transition.
But except yours are so much... Mine's like, oh, what's long?
Still not a good I'm still tempted to say a sexual comment after
right
that.
It's like, okay.
Hold on, what happens here?
Let me try to refresh my memory. This is when they're in the forest and they realize that they're not going to survive, that they need to change time, right? Oh, yeah, and Dolores sees them. She sees Snape, and she knows that he was with Ron and Hermione. Because Granger and Hermione and Ron are caught by the Dementors. And and Dolores Umbridge is in the Force, and she sees Snape, I think with Scorpius, and she knows that he was with Ron and Hermione, but she's there to tell him that they were caught and their souls were sucked out of them.
Yes.
Correct, yeah. And so...
Oh, okay. So I was very confused because this play puts weird breaks in their scenes.
Okay.
You know, like sometimes the scenes are in the same place, but they're like split up in scenes. And this is why I got confused, because I flipped forward and I saw Albus.
Okay, yeah.
So, but yes, so Dolores uncovers that Snape is part of the Resistance.
Yes.
With Scorpius, Ron, and Hermione, and she's calling the Dementors to kiss them.
Correct, yeah.
Suck out their soul. And then, you know who kisses first, though?
Who?
Ron and Hermione.
Oh, yeah.
Because now they prevented the first one, and Hermione has feelings for Ron.
Oh, man.
Oh, and they kiss, and it's all lovey-dovey, and she's like, I don't want this to be the last time, but we might as well kiss before everything. Yeah, remember? Right there?
Yeah, no, I remember.
Oh, okay. And they talk about having a boy and a girl, having kids, and all that type of stuff. And they basically push Scorpius to go stop the second task, because there's another. He does the second jump now.
Yes,
the second jump of the plan.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
This was. Well, I'll get to that in a second. I have a lot of notes for this, actually. So
go ahead. Yeah, go through all of them then.
I'm like trying to like comprehend them all like in a quick amount of time. So, my first note was there's a weird beat. Let me see if I can find it. I guess it says where Snape raises his wand for no reason. So let me see. Oh, yeah. So it's when they first get back on page 190, and Ron is like kind of dizzy after...
Yes, he's in pain.
Yeah, he's in pain from the time travel. And then Snape says, we're above ground. We need to move now. And Hermione's like, Ron, you can still walk. Come on. Ron does stand up, shouting in pain. Snape raises his wand. So why is...
I think in defense.
Why in defense? Who's he?
Just in case someone hears his
Oh,
scream.
okay. I see what you're saying.
You know,
okay.
that's like... And because they're above ground, they really have to get out.
Gotcha.
So I feel that it's in defense.
Right, okay. Gotcha. Okay. Then my next thing... Oh, yeah. So, there was this really bad line from Hermione on page 191. Not like a bad line in general, just like really poorly written. It's at the bottom of 191. Mm-hmm. When Ron and Hermione realize that their fate, that, you know, they're probably going to have to be kissed by the Dementors. And Scorpius says, but they'll kiss you. They'll suck out your soul. And Hermione's line is, and then you'll change the past. And then they won't. Go, now.
Yeah. That's poorly written.
Yeah, I read that at first. I was like, wait, what? Like, it was so bad.
And then Snape goes, go, we go.
Yeah.
What?
Like, come on now. And, okay, so this is one thing where I think seeing the play would be more beneficial. Because, like, I think reading this part with Ron and Hermione, the way it reads to me, like, I just don't like it. Like, I think it would... Yeah,
I also feel like this is, like, a callback, though, to Lupin and Tonks.
Yeah.
How they died together. And
yeah, that's very true.
So that's what I feel.
Yeah. I mean, it definitely could be. It's just... A lot of times, like, I think sometimes... Or not all the time, but sometimes, like, when you see something enacted, it's what the actors bring to it. Mm-hmm. I don't think that this dialogue gives much weight to what's happening.
Yeah.
But I think if we saw it and we heard the music and saw the Dementors coming, that would be...
Yeah, and Dolores isn't called the Dementors.
Oh,
I'm reading this now. The Dementors are on their way.
Right.
And Ron and Hermione decide to die together.
Right.
You know, and we'll have their souls sucked out together.
Yes.
As Snape escorts Scorpius to the lake.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that's what happens.
Yes. And then there's this weird thing on 194, and I want to see what you think about this, but it talks... This is when Umbridge comes, and it says... It says, so Snape, like, she's confronting Snape, and he asks her how long she has suspected, And it says Umbridge rises off the ground.
Yes.
Is she... I'm confused. Am I reading that wrong? Is she flying? Is that what it means?
I think so. Kind of like how Voldemort flies.
Yeah.
You know, that's how I took it.
It's funny that the reason that it's so shocking that Voldemort flies, but also cool, is like he's such a powerful wizard. And I kind of hate that, like, we can just apply that to anybody now.
Yeah, because Voldemort wouldn't want people to have that type of power.
Right, exactly.
He's going to want to be the most powerful, so why would he teach other people more power?
Exactly. Yeah. And I just thought of this, but I know, okay, well, it's kind of weird that we don't see Voldemort at all in this timeline.
Mm-hmm.
I just realized that. But anyway.
Yeah.
And so I'm going to skip over some of my notes because they're kind of petty. It's fine. Oh, yeah. So then when we get Snape sacrifices himself and says, you know, I'll let the Dementors do what they will to me. It's fine. Then suddenly on page 196, Scorpius is in the water. And my question to you is...
Can you pause that for one second?
Oh, please, yeah.
Scorpius says to Snape, as he's defending him, "Thank you for being the light in the darkness. My light in the darkness." And that's been said 3 times
You're
now.
right.
With Draco and Ush, his wife, them. And there was a 3rd time, I don't remember, but it was a callback.
Right.
So I think it's kind of funny. But
it's
a very romantic line for
right.
a you'd be like 14
right.
to say to a 60-year-old at this point.
Right.
At least 60.
It's weird. Yeah.
Go on.
My question is when did Scorpius turn the time turn? Like, how did he get in the water? I don't remember. When it got to this point, I was very, not confused about what was happening, but just confused how it came to be.
So when they came back to this timeline from stopping the first fuckery at the first task, they were at the edge of the forest. So they went from the Quidditch pitch to the end of the forest, and then Snape escorted him to the lake. And so it just says that he starts turning it. That's all. Okay. It doesn't say he went into the lake.
Right. Okay, I see what
yeah.
Right.
So he doesn't have to be in the water to stop them from doing it.
Right,
so I think he just has to be at the lake.
Okay. And so we see that Albus is alive and well. And he comes out of the water in this new timeline. They fixed everything, I guess.
Yes.
We don't get that scene with Scorpius fixing things. We just
know that he does.
Yeah. That's another thing I found kind of off-putting.
Yeah.
Fine.
Like, it's so strange. They go through all these details of other stuff, and then this one we just have to know.
Right. That's why I was also thrown off. And then, of course, Scorpius, is just shouting things. Like, this is a trope I hate, too, when, Albus clearly doesn't know what's happening.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to find... Okay, so Albus on page 197, he's like, what? We failed? And Scorpius like, yes, and it's amazing. It's like, dude, shut the F up and explain what's happening. Like, I know he's excited. I know it's been a while for him.
Mm-hmm. It's been months for him.
Yeah, but, seriously,
Maybe.
I always try to put... Well, yeah, we don't know, but I'm assuming... I think you're right.
Yeah.
I'm assuming. But anyway, I put myself in those shoes. I'm thinking the first thing I would want to do is tell my friend what happened. Like, no, Albus, let me explain. Let's get on shore and I'll explain to you what happened. Instead, he's going, yes, and it's amazing.
Yes,
and Albus,
Slytherin.
Yeah, and Albus is so confused. And he's like, it's just poor. This is the only time I feel bad for Albus. Only time.
Only time. Like, yeah, now I'm getting worried, he says to Scorpius.
Yeah.
He's still like...
And I just saw you 2 minutes ago.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. And that's all my notes.
And then he doesn't get to explain.
Right.
Because Harry enters and sprints to the side of the water, followed quickly by Draco, Ginny, and McGonagall.
Yeah.
So we have to think. So they are... Last time we saw Ginny, Harry, Draco, and McGonagall, they were in the bathroom with Myrtle. And they saw on the map that they were flickering in and out because they were time traveling to the second task. And so they got to the lake and they just popped up. So they already disrupted. Now Scorpius has already changed the past 2 times and they popped up. And so now we're on the normal timeline and everything is as it should be.
Okay, I have a question.
Yes.
Okay. So, oh my god, this is so convoluted. First of all, what's convoluted is that bathroom scene took place in the second timeline. So, like,
yes.
Nothing changed from the second timeline to the first timeline. But not only that, but we just talked about how Scorpius was in this third timeline for months.
Yes.
So wouldn't this be months later that he comes back? Why not?
Because that timeline no longer exists because they stopped his head from blowing up.
Right.
So he was embarrassed, and so then they stopped that, and so there was never...
But wouldn't because whatever timeline he's in, he time travels to another time, then he comes back to where he left off. So yes, he'd be coming back to where he left off, but wouldn't the time still have gone by?
No. He would have aged. Not the time itself.
But how does the time turner know that?
I don't know. Because, like... Yes.
Do you know what I'm saying?
I see what you're saying now. Yes. But my argument for it would be that because he reversed... What they should have done was stop the second task and then stop the first task.
That's what I was thinking.
Because then it will put them on the correct time.
Yeah, I thought... When I read this, I thought, wait, why are they doing the first and then the second?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So, you're correct. Yeah. It would be months in the future.
Because then there's a fourth timeline.
Yes.
Okay, anyway, we won't even go there.
Huh?
Because when they change the second task back, now they're in that timeline.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Okay,
yeah,
no.
So what they should have done, LIFO, not FIFO.
Yeah.
It's an accounting term.
Oh, okay, gotcha. I don't know it.
They should have changed the second task first.
Correct.
And then the first task, because then it reverts back to the first, and then it reverts back to the beginning. So you're rewinding.
Correct.
Yeah.
Because.
So.
Yeah.
Okay.
My brain hurts.
But we agree on that.
Okay.
So that's good. So yes, it should be months in the future then.
Yeah.
You're right. It should be months in the future.
This is weird. Because, there are 4 timelines. We have the regular timeline. We have the one...
The first change.
With the first change. Then we have the one with the second change. Then we have the one with the first reverted, but the second still changed.
Correct.
And now we're back to the original, to the first.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
Yeah. Great. Just making sure.
Okay.
All right. So, do you have anything else?
That must be so confusing watching it, though. Well, then again, when you're watching something, you're not thinking about all that stuff.
Exactly.
It's shown.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so yes, they pop up and they pull them out of the lake, basically. And Scorpius is like, Harry, it's Harry Potter, and Ginny, and Professor McGonagall, and Dad, my dad. Hi, Dad.
Hi.
So, I mean, I understand Scorpius's elation because,
for sure.
he went through his worst nightmare.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, for sure.
Does he ever explain to them?
Well, at this point, at this part ends with McGonagall saying, I think you've got some explaining to do. So I think in the next scene he might, but I'll have to refresh myself. Because he loses the time turner.
He loses it. I was just about to say that.
Okay, yeah.
Oh no, oh bother, where is it?
Oh bother.
Just remembered from where? Oh, because he's like looking for... I've lost the time turner. Then Albus looks at him very annoyed. Time to cut the pretenses, Albus. Wait, what? I don't understand this.
Wait, hold on. Let's go.
So let's roll back. Albus, are you okay? Harry, it's Harry. Hello, Scorpius. Hello, Scorpius. Fuck you, Draco.
Yeah.
You're all here. Albus, you were all here. Jenny and Myrtle told us everything. Albus, what's going on? McGonagall, you're the one who just returned from time. Why don't you tell us? Scorpius, oh bother, where is it? Albus, just returned from where? Scorpius, oh, okay. So they're having like a bunch of different conversations.
Yeah.
That's what's happening. So Albus is trying to play dumb.
Right.
Okay, now I understand. And Scorpius is freaking out because he lost the time turner. And yeah. And then Harry's like, time to cut the pretenses, Albus. McGonagall, I think you've got some explaining to do. So there was 2. That's really funny. Yeah. That would be really funny to watch people act, because you'll have like two people talking over here, and then Scorpius is like swimming around, like freaking out. Like, where's the time turner?
I would like to see Scorpius with that for sure.
And then just Draco, Ginny, just standing there watching it all.
Yeah.
I think it would be funny. But yeah, so
yeah, for sure.
That's the end of the scene. Is that they're waffling, looking for the time turner, and Albus is playing dumb.
Yes, indeed.
And then they're gonna explain everything that happens. Hopefully, maybe.
I don't quite
remember.
I don't remember either. So let's find out. We're gonna get into our final scene now of the episode, Act 3, Scene 10. We're in Hogwarts headmistress's office.
Mm-hmm.
And let's see.
So, Professor McGonagall is like, so this is like almost exactly when they jumped off the Hogwarts Express.
Right.
Don't forget that.
Right.
So, it's like, so let's be clear. You illegally jumped off the Hogwarts Express. You invaded and stole from the Ministry of Magic, and you took upon yourself to change time, whereupon you disappeared 2 people. And then, like, she's given a synopsis of what happened.
Yeah.
As if we didn't watch it.
Yeah, I know, right. Yeah.
And then she's talking about people being killed. And you're correct, Mr. Potter. Doesn't sound good, does it? Are you aware how stupid you've been? Mm-hmm. At this point, they would be sent to Azkaban.
I was going to say, this wouldn't just be like, this is not a normal thing. Like, this is just breaking so many laws. This is putting the world into jeopardy.
Mm-hmm. And, like, at this point, they still don't know, like, if it had any consequences.
I don't even think this play knows.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Oh, and this part sucks.
Yeah.
Because McGonagall's like, I should expel you, but with all things considered, I think it might be safer for you to remain here. You're in detention forever. Christmas is canceled, and you'll never be visiting Hogsmeade ever again.
Which is nothing to Albus. He didn't want to go in the first place.
He didn't care. And then Hermione bursts in and is like, what did I miss? You know, and
Hermione?
I didn't like that.
Well, also, right after that is when McGonagall tells Hermione off, which I was very happy for, because she says, if I could also give Professor McGonagall says, if I could also give a detention to you, Minister, I would, keeping hold of a time turner, of all the stupid things. And then Hermione goes, in my defense, Professor McGonagall, in a bookcase. You kept it in a bookcase. It's almost laughable. And I think McGonagall's speaking for the crowd here. Mm-hmm. Because it is insane that Hermione, the brightest witch of her age, would make such a stupid decision.
Mm-hmm. And, like, McGonagall, like, Hermione doesn't know everything that happened.
Right, that's right.
Because she's coming into this blind.
Yeah.
And so she's, like, trying to placate McGonagall. Be like, Minerva. Like, Professor McGonagall. Come on, it's fine. And she's like, your children didn't exist. Mm-hmm. Like, they were gone. And she had, like, no reply. And McGonagall goes, this is the McGonagall that I've been, like, missing the first part.
Yeah.
You know, like, it's my school under my watch. Like,
yeah.
And so this is the tension that I was waiting for, because she's supposed to be the guardian. McGonagall's always been the guardian. Mm-hmm. She is the mostly letter of the law with a little bit of heart, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
So
yeah.
I think it was, we finally saw it and it made me happy.
Me too, definitely. Yeah. I will say that she does say one thing that I kind of disagree with, which is she says to the boys, your intentions to save Cedric were honorable if misguided. I don't even think they were honorable, to be honest. I understand.
No. Selfish.
Yeah, they were very selfish because they didn't do it to help. I mean, well, I'm not going to group Scorpius into this. He just went along with it. Mm-hmm. He shouldn't have, but he did. Because he went along with it 14. For his friend. Right, and he's 14. Albus was being a giant doofus and doing it because for some reason, which I still don't quite understand, he has this, like, hatred for his father. Mm-hmm. I'm sorry. Like, I know there's, like, a thing, like, where his father's so popular and he hates it and he has a shadow over him, but, like, still, I don't get why you hate your father that much because of that. Whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. But
I don't like how this played out either. this is a weird place to end on.
I know.
For this episode, only because it's not satisfactory of where we're ending out. Because basically, we went through all of this, and now here we are. Everything's back to normal. Everyone's been chastised by McGonagall.
Yeah.
And she leaves with saying, now, go on, get out, the lot of you, and find me that time turner.
Correct.
So I think there's no repercussion.
Right.
There's no punishment for the crime. Because they did commit a crime.
Right.
This was a crime.
Right.
You know, they committed, 3 crimes, because they broke into the Ministry of Magic. They used Polyjuice illegally. It's just a lot of stuff.
I think this play kind of just thinks that because Harry and Ron and Hermione did it, it's okay to do it again.
Yeah.
But it doesn't take into account why they did the things they did. Like, you can't just have Albus doing something that Harry did because Harry did it. Mm-hmm. Harry used the Imperius Curse in Book 7. Why? It was an unforgivable curse. Why did he do it?
Yeah.
Because of they were ink Gringotts. He felt he needed to do it for their own safety. But if you had Albus do that, what's the reason? Give me a good reason. There isn't good reasons.
I mean, Scorpius could have in that altered time world with Voldemort. Well, they could do it in any of those altered time worlds.
But even then.
Because they disappear later.
Right.
But in the current one, which is where we are, they have no reason to do anything that they do except to fuck with time. To mess with time. And I don't know. It just there's no what I had said in the text message. I'm conflicted because it doesn't correspond with the book, And we've said this before. If this was a separate play, I'd be okay with it because I wouldn't be thinking about all the previous books and the repercussions thereof.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I mean, I still. And we already talked about this. I still would be annoyed with the time travel stuff because I don't like time travel, and I still wouldn't like the bland character development that we get for the most part. But I agree with you.
So let's end this episode on positive notes because we've been really tearing this apart.
We have
this play. What do you like about it?
I like Scorpius. I think that he presents a very different expectation of what it means to a coming of age story. I think especially for a boy like him, you don't see a boy who's a sensitive usually in a hero's journey type, even though it's not a hero's journey. But I like him. I liked in the alternative timeline Draco, the complexity that was presented after we thought about it a little while. I'm going to pass it to you now.
I also like Scorpius a lot. It's interesting that you said the coming of age because Scorpius is already, I feel, of age. That he's not going through a metamorphosis. I think he's already there. He's already a butterfly. And he's trying to encourage Albus to go through it.
I like that.
That's how I feel about Scorpius.
Yeah.
Because I think he's way more mature than his age. Because you see that from the very beginning when we first meet him on the Hogwarts Express.
Yes.
When he's offering to share his sweets and he talks about the rumor of him being Voldemort's child. And I do like how there is this I do like the rumor of Voldemort having a child because that is conspiracy and propaganda that would exist
right
in a world like this. And I like Draco's reimagining or them pulling out what he actually is from the book about how he pleads with Harry to repel the rumors and how he is so defensive of Scorpius. I like all of that, and I like Hermione's reimagining in the 3rd timeline where she's a warrior. I like that too. And we already discussed all of our dislikes, but I like all those things, and I wish it was more capitalized on.
Yeah, definitely. I agree with you.
Yeah.
and to not to go backwards, but to your point about Scorpius and Albus and the coming of age thing, I really like how comfortable Scorpius is.
Yes. With himself.
Yeah, and that's what I love that so much.
I think that's very important.
It is, because clearly, like, it's just such a different character from what we've gotten in the Harry Potter books. I don't think we've ever had a character, at least in our main site, like that we spend a lot of time with, who's been as comfortable as Scorpius is.
I'm going to say Hagrid.
Well, that too.
Yeah.
Okay, well, yeah, but I mean...
Not to contradict what you're saying, because you don't follow... Yeah. Hagrid's already an adult.
Right.
But I think the best comparison for Scorpius in his comfortability level would be Hagrid.
Okay, yeah.
Because here he is, this half-giant...
I love Hagrid.
Oh, I love Hagrid. He is one of my favorite characters.
I don't know how comfortable he is, because, well, let's not even talk about it. We would, I would love to have these discussions with you, but, we just can't. Not now, at least.
Not now.
All right. Anything else you want to say before
we still don't have a sign-off.
No, we don't. Well, I mean, let's talk about quickly our website. We have a website, folks. It is BaBatpodcast.com. And there you can listen to all of our episodes, but you can also listen on places like iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, Podcast Addict.
That's what I think. We're on Podbean as well. Right,
Podbean. Lots of other places as well. Just do a little search. It should pick up from iTunes, but should be in most places. Also, we're on social media. We are on Tumblr.
Ooh.
Instagram,
ooh,
Twitter, Facebook, 2 places, a page and a group.
Yeah.
Oh man, we have a Goodreads. We have an email.
We have an email. We have voice messages.
Oh,
all that can be found on our website. So just drop us a line, drop us a review. We have our poll up currently. I don't know when this is going.
It might not be up at this point when it comes out, but you never know.
I hope you guys voted.
Hope you guys voted, because we're excited for our next season. I'm excited, at least.
She's going to be here in half an hour.
Oh, okay, cool.
So we have a surprise.
We have a surprise.
You guys aren't going to own. Are you guys own? Or you're not going to know until the end of the season.
Dun, dun, dun. Spoilers, J.K. Rowling is coming on the podcast.
I wish. Can you imagine?
Oh my God. No, I don't wish. I'd be like, I take back everything I said.
I think she'd be very good with speaking to people.
Oh yeah, for
about
sure.
criticisms and stuff like that. So
it'd be interesting for sure.
So what else? Oh, our image designer is Katie Hartung. She is online, khartgraphics.com, I believe is her website. But it's in our show notes.
Correct, yeah.
So give her a look if you need anything regards to graphic design, logos, all that type of stuff.
Yes.
And who's our music?
So our music is by a guy named, I think I've been pronouncing his name wrong ever since I've heard of him. So I apologize. But somebody else used his music in a podcast, and they called him Kevin MacLeod.
Oh,
so
what did we call him?
MacLeod. So that was all me. And you know what? No regrets.
MacLeod or MacLeod?
Regrets. No regrets.
No regrets.
What's that from? I don't know. Anyway, it's from something. That's all that matters. I didn't. I promise you. I don't know what it's from, but one day I'm going to remember.
That's funny.
Anyway, there's something I was going to say, but
MacLeod.
Well, yes, MacLeod.
So thank you for your music.
Thank you, Kevin MacLeod.
His link is also in our show notes.
Indeed. All right. So thanks for listening, folks, and we will talk to you next episode. Goodbye.
Goodbye.